Take Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, a man with no meaningful political, diplomatic, or civil service experience who was handed sweeping authority during the first Trump administration over Middle East policy and sent across the world to represent the United States. At the same time, his family's real estate empire in New York was in trouble after years of mismanagement and actively seeking foreign investment. Ladies and gentlemen, he sure found it. Kushner was shaping U.S. foreign policy while simultaneously building relationships with foreign leaders that would later become financially valuable to him, personally. He was acting as a diplomat for himself at the expense of America's interests abroad and our national security. Kushner communicated directly with wealthy, high-ranking officials like Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, using unsecured and unauthorized channels like WhatsApp, with limited or no transparency and—
This is the full build. Ansari opens by framing the Trump administration as operating on naked, open, brazen corruption. She walks through Kushner's real estate empire in distress, his search for foreign investment, the conflicts he created while shaping Middle East policy, the unsecured WhatsApp communications with MBS, the return of Witkoff and Kushner to the same Gulf governments now under Trump 2.0, and then lands the gut punch. Kushner is simultaneously shaping the Iran negotiations and soliciting $5 billion more from the same foreign governments with a direct stake in the outcome. She calls it too outlandish for a movie script. The clip establishes every piece of the pattern before Ansari names the scale, the largest corruption scandal in U.S. history.
Mr. Speaker, let's talk about naked, open, brazen corruption. The Trump administration is guided and shaped by it, emboldened by what they can get away with, while the American taxpayer watches their own hard-earned paycheck siphoned away by ever-growing gas prices, groceries, rent, and health care. All the while, Donald Trump flaunts his White House ballroom and D.C. arch with displays of nauseating corruption for his billionaire buddies in broad daylight. Take Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, a man with no meaningful political, diplomatic, or civil service experience who was handed sweeping authority during the first Trump administration over Middle East policy and sent across the world to represent the United States. At the same time, his family's real estate empire in New York was in trouble after years of mismanagement and actively seeking foreign investment. Ladies and gentlemen, he sure found it. Kushner was shaping U.S. foreign policy while simultaneously building relationships with foreign leaders that would later become financially valuable to him, personally. He was acting as a diplomat for himself at the expense of America's interests abroad and our national security. Kushner communicated directly with wealthy, high-ranking officials like Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, using unsecured and unauthorized channels like WhatsApp, with limited or no transparency and record-keeping regarding these official and ethically dubious conversations. Nothing has changed since the first Trump administration. In fact, it has only gotten worse. They no longer even pretend to hide it. While Kushner and Trump ally and billionaire friend Steve Witkoff meet with Gulf countries about matters pertaining to U.S. national security, they are also directly involved with selling massive billion-dollar deals to friends and family of the president. It's the largest corruption scandal ever seen in the United States, leading back directly to Donald Trump, members of his family, and top administration officials. Kushner is a private citizen. He is not subject to the rules and regulations of actual public servants, including background checks and requirements for a security clearance, negotiating America's foreign policy and matters of literal war and peace between the United States and Iran, some of the most consequential negotiations of the 21st century. Meanwhile, new reporting from the New York Times shows that Kushner is simultaneously soliciting $5 billion in new investment from the very same foreign governments with a direct stake in these negotiations. It would be too outlandish for a movie script, yet this is the reality in America today. an elite ruling class which makes policy decisions based on how it will affect their personal bottom line and using taxpayer-funded government to get rich at our expense. I mean, Trump is literally suing the IRS, which he controls, for $10 billion. Money straight from the taxpayers into his own pocket. But there is hope. All across the world, people are organizing and uniting against corrupt leaders who view government as a tool to enrich themselves and their friends. In Hungary, after 16 years of democratic backsliding and a state molded into a piggy bank for the elite, a broad coalition defeated Viktor Orban, despite him literally doing everything he could to rig the system in his own favor. Hungary shows us that there is a path forward. Follow the money, take no vote for granted, and make corruption shameful again. When Democrats take back the House in November, I will work to ensure that subpoenas fly out for every taxpayer dollar and cent that Trump and his family have spent during their time in office steering into their own pockets. Kushner will come under oath and testify, and accountability will not stop there. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to honor Miguel Alvarado of Guadalupe, Arizona, a man deeply respected in our community. For over 2 decades, Miguel has shown up for his neighbors with consistency and with heart. For 25 years, he has led the Guadalupe Car Show, a tradition that brings...
Here is what Ansari just put on the congressional record. Jared Kushner, private citizen, no clearance, no ethics requirements, is negotiating the U.S. ceasefire with Iran. At the same time, the Saudi government, which controls the fund that handed Kushner $2 billion, wants that war to continue and escalate. Raskin said it in writing 8 days ago. Kushner's Saudi clients want the Iran war. The American people want it to end. Kushner is the man in the middle, collecting the fees. His Serbian project just collapsed because Serbian officials were criminally charged for forging government documents to make room for a Trump tower. His firm is now a principal investor in a hostile bid to seize CNN, HBO, and Warner Brothers, bankrolled by the same Saudi, Emirati, and Qatari sovereign wealth funds. He is simultaneously negotiating alongside as a U.S. envoy. 97% of major news outlets covering his diplomatic role have not mentioned any of this, not once. The Senate Finance Committee, the House Oversight Committee, the House Judiciary Committee, all now investigating, multiple referrals to the DOJ. And Kushner keeps flying to Pakistan and Tehran and Riyadh, with billions already in his pocket from the governments sitting on the other side of the table. Ansari promised subpoenas the moment Democrats take back the House. The record she just built is the foundation for exactly that. Because this is not complicated. A man collecting $157 million in fees from a foreign monarchy is not a neutral peace broker. He is a financial asset of that monarchy. The camera was on Kushner the entire time. He just didn't know it. Hit subscribe. This is not going away.